everyone. We will discuss the BIR. But first, do you know what is BIR? BIR means Bureau of Internal Revenue. BIR must be under control of the Department of Finance and its powers, and duties shall understand the assessment and collection of all taxes, fees, and charges on the national revenue, penalties, fines including the enforcement of judgments in all cases decided in favor by the Court of Tax Appeals.
We also have here the regional directors and regional district officers of the Bureau of Internal Revenue. They administers and enforces internal revenue laws, including the assessment and collection of all internal revenue taxes, charges, and fees from taxpayers within the region's jurisdiction. Next is the provincial, city, and municipal treasurers. City treasurers are primarily responsible for managing the revenue and cash flow of the agency, banking, collection, receipt, reporting, custody, investment, and disbursement of municipal funds. Lastly is the examiners and collection agents of the Bureau of Internal Revenue and Bureau of Customs. They conduct the tax assessment as well as collection of the assessed tax deficiencies.
Commissioner of Customs. The Commissioner of Customs is the head of the Bureau of Customs and is assisted by 6 deputy commissioners, 1 assistant commissioner, and 17 district collectors. They must implement an effective revenue collection by preventing and suppressing smuggling and the entry of prohibited imported goods. It supervises and controls the entrance and clearance vessels and aircraft engaged in foreign commerce. The current Commissioner of Customs is Mr. Bienvenido Rubio. Presiding Justice and Associate Justices of Court Tax Appeals. The Court of Tax Appeals has 8 Associate Justices and 1 Presiding Justice. The presiding judge shall be the administrative judge of the court, shall discharge the duties of jury judge, and shall preside at the meetings of court en banc. They must expedite the disposition of tax evasion cases and decides the other tax cases. Deputy Commissioner of the BIR. Their job is to assist the Commissioner of Internal Revenue in carrying out the powers and duties of BIR. The deputies are recommended by the Commissioner of BIR and approved by the President. The current Deputy Commissioner of the BIR is Romeo Lumagi Jr.
The Bureau of Internal Revenue is the government agency that administers and enforces the taxation laws of the Philippines. They are under the supervision and control of Department of Finance, and its power and duties shall be comprehend the assessment and collection of all national internal revenue taxes, fees, and charges, and the enforcement of all forfeitures, penalties, and fines, including the execution of judgment in all cases decided in its favor by the Court of Tax Appeals and the ordinary courts. The Bureau shall give effect to and administer the supervisory and police powers conferred to it by this code or other laws.
The Bureau of Internal Revenue, also known as BIR, is a revenue service of the Philippine government, which is responsible for collecting more than half of the total revenues of the government. It is an agency of the Department of Finance, and it is led by a commissioner.
After they discuss the power and duties of the Bureau of Internal Revenue, let's now proceed to the officials of Bureau of Internal Revenue or BIR. First is the Commissioner, the effective agency to supervise and inspect the work of district offices, both police and revenue, to enforce efficiency. Next is Deputy Commissioner. Deputy Commissioner is responsible for the maintenance or law and order in the district. Next is Revenue Regional Director. Administers and enforces internal revenue laws, including the assessment and collection of all internal revenue taxes, charges, and fees from taxpayers within the region's jurisdiction.
Revenue District Officer. The Revenue District Officer to examine the efficiency of all the officers and employees of the Bureau of Internal Revenue under his supervision and report in writing through the Commissioner to the Regional Director. Revenue Examiners. Review tax return for the accuracy and completeness, review and tax code returns for computer processing, resolve errors and corresponds with taxpayers to obtain any missing information. Division Chief. These chiefs are required to conduct administrative and personal transactions as well as their legislation and technical program activities.
There are four powers and authorities of the Commissioner of the Internal Revenue. The first one is the power of the Commissioner to interpret tax laws and to decide tax cases. It is the power to interpret the provisions of this code and other tax laws shall be under the exclusive and original jurisdiction of the Commissioner subject to review by the Secretary of Finance. It is also has the power to decide disputed assessments, refunds of internal revenue taxes, fees or other charges, fees imposed in relation thereto or other matters arising under this code or other laws of portions thereof administered by the Bureau of Internal Revenue is vested in the Commissioner, subject to the exclusive appellate jurisdiction of the Court of Tax Appeals.
Second, power to obtain information and to summon, examine, and take testimony of persons. Section 5 NIRC. In ascertaining the correctness of any return or in making a return when none has been made or in determining the liability of any person for any internal revenue tax or in collecting any such liability or in evaluating tax compliance. The Commissioner of his authorized representative shall obtain that information upon proper request from the offices or officers concerned. It shall be the duty of those offices or officer to furnish the desired information within 30 days from receipt of the request of the Commissioner of Internal Revenue or his authorized representative.
The third one is belong in the Section 6 NIRC. The power of the Commissioner make the assessment and prescribe additional requirements for tax administration and enforcement. Letter A. Examination of return and determination of tax due. Letter B. Failure to submit required return statements, reports, and other documents. Letter C. Authority to conduct inventory taking, surveillance, and to prescribe presumptive gross sale and receipts. Letter D. Authority to terminate taxable period. Letter E. Authority of the Commissioner to prescribe the real property values. And letter F. Authority of the Commissioner to inquire into bank deposit accounts and other related information held by the financial institutions. Letter G. Authority to accredit and register tax agent. And lastly, letter H. Authority of the Commissioner to prescribe additional procedural or documentary requirements.
Fourth, authority to delegate power, Section 7 NIRC. The Commissioner may delegate the powers vested in him under the pertinent provisions of this code to any or such subordinate officials with the rank equivalent to a division chief or higher, subject to such limitations and restrictions as may be imposed under rules and regulations to be promulgated by the Secretary of Finance upon recommendation of the Commissioner, provided, however, that the following powers of the Commissioner shall not be delegated: the power to recommend the promulgation of rules and regulations by the Secretary of Finance, the power to issue ruling of first impression or to reverse, revoke, or modify any existing ruling of the Bureau, the power to compromise or abate under Section 204 and of this code any tax liability,
The power to assign or reassign internal revenue officers to establishment where articles subject to excise tax are produced or kept. Lastly, authority to compromise, abate, and refund or credit tax, Section 204 NIRC. Under Section 204 of the Tax Code, the Commissioner of Internal Revenue (CIR) is authorized to compromise taxes in the Philippines or to allow payment of taxes at minimal amount in certain instances. The compromised settlement of any tax liability shall be subjected to the following minimum amounts: for cases of financial incapacity, a minimum compromise rate equivalent to 10% of the basic assessed tax. Credit or refund taxes erroneously or illegally received or penalties imposed without authority. Refund the value of internal revenue stamps when they are returned in good condition by the purchaser, and in his direction redeem or change unused stamps that have been rendered unfit for use and refund their value upon proof of destruction.
Tulong-tulong.
Sa pagbangon,
Kapit kamay.
Sa pag-ahon.
Buwis.
Nawasto alay.
Para sa Pilipino.